Hi guys, welcome to Mountain Mount project. So this is another project for us to handle. This is the installation of barbed wire on a fence on a property at Alagomeji Yaba. First need to be plastered, then the barbed wire will be installed and then it will be painted. Here you can see the mixing: cement, plaster sand and sharp sand is mixed together so we can get a good plaster, and once the bricklayer hits it on the wall it can stay. That is the use of the plaster sand. Otherwise sharp sand will be used, but because you don't want to waste too much cement, you have to use plaster sand. So you can see the environment is a big environment and it's not looking good for a fence like this to not be plastered. Initially the fence was plastered and everything. You can see it's painted up to a certain level, so we added two coaches of block so it can be up to standard before we put the barbed wire, because there's no use putting the barbed wire on a short fence. The fence is short regardless, so putting a barbed wire is like a waste. So we had to make the fence higher, at least 2 coaches on top, then before we can plaster it and put the barbed wire. Because if we put the barbed wire before plastering it, when the plastering is being done, it will not make the barbed wire look good. So you can see how plastering is done. It needs to be, after the sand have been put on the wall, it needs to be wet, watered with the foam, then it's going to be smooth. Like you can see how the bricklayer is doing, it's going to be smoothened with the trowel. That's the job involved in the plastering. So as you can see, the plastering is going on. It's not actually an easy job as it seems, because it's an up job. You know, the up jobs are not pretty easy as it seems. So you can see the bricklayer is doing his work and I'm giving him more morale to get it done as soon as possible. You know, after he's done plastering this side, he still has to do another part. So while we were there, you can see we had a little snack, and now the place is looking better after it's been dried. You see, it's really a nice project. Like you can see, the surrounding is a big area, all the houses are big, so it's not worth it for a barbed wire to not be in your house. So we are trying to make this house up to standard. It's an old house, but you know, you have to make, even if it's old, they say old is gold. It's old, but you need to work on it. You can see all the other places are not plastered yet. Now it's done plastering one line, now remains with this back job. You can see this back, there is already barbed wire on top. That's because the house behind this house already did the barbed wire, so it's left for us to do the plaster only for this side and then install the barbed wire on the other side where there is no barbed wire. So you see, now the bricklayer is installing the bar, the iron, the Y bar that the barbed wire is going to be tied onto. You can see that's the standard way of installing the barbed wire. You can't just lay the barbed wire on the fence, it won't stay. So you need this Y iron bar to be installed by the bricklayer before the guy who comes to lay the barbed wire comes. You can see, so that's what the bricklayer is currently doing. And this installation of these iron bars need to be done with sharp sand so it can be strong, because even it's meant to be done with concrete, but sharp sand can do the work. Once you mix the sharp sand and the cement well, then you can put some little granite in it so it can stay strong forever. So that's why you can see now all the iron bars have been installed. You can see these glasses will be out, to be useless very soon once the barbed wire is being installed. You can see each and every one is looking good. And once installing these iron bars, make sure it's not too far from each other. Make sure the iron bars are not too far so that the barbed wire will be looking good and tight. If it's too far, the barbed wire can be loosened. You know, it can be pushed off the fence easily because the iron bars are too far. As you can see now, the plastering is for the back side is ongoing. Here now we don't need to install the barbed wire because the barbed wire has been there. You can see the iron bars are also been placed there. Now the plastering is done. everything is looking good and smooth, as you can see. So it's not an easy job, but you can see. And the other side of that fence there, it's already an electrical wire, so we don't need to stress. So now that the plastering is done, it's time for the installation of the barbed wire. So the technician to install the barbed wire is here. So we're just checking to see if the iron bars have been installed properly. So you can see everything has been installed properly and the barbed wires are ready. The ladder is ready. So now that everything is ready, we are left with the installation of the barbed wire. So here it begins. You can see the technician already standing on the fence with his hand gloves. This barbed wire is so sharp, so you need to be wearing hand gloves. And you can see the bottles have been rendered useless because we are now installing the barbed wire. So he needs to break off the bottles so he can actually step on the fence comfortably. So it seems it might look easy, but it's actually not easy. It's a pretty difficult job to do. So actually we had to buy about 50 meters of barbed wire for the one side of the fence, and like this is 120 and 30 meters of barbed wire is what we are actually going to use. So you can see the guy has started. He had to install the barbed wire from the start and also had to tie this barbed wire to the iron bar, the Y bar, from there from the start. So once he starts pulling it, it won't get out from this bar. That's why I was emphasizing on these bars. These bars are very important because that's the only way the barbed wire can be strong and can be held on the fence. Without these iron bars, these Y bars, the barbed wire cannot stay on the fence on its own. It's going to fall off. So you have to tie the barbed wire to the iron bars with the binding wire. So that's when you're buying the barbed wire, you also need to buy this Y iron rods and also the binding wire that will be used to tie it. So you can see it's a pretty dangerous job. The guy is going on about his job and pulling it. You can see how he's working carefully, and we thank God all through his job and all through installation of everything, we did it smoothly. There was no injuries, no accidents, no nothing. So it's really a great feat. So you can see he's doing his job and everything is going nice and smooth. Remember, these iron bars, the Y iron bars, shouldn't be far from each other so that you can get this thing right. Because if it's too far, it's going to be difficult. You can see how he has taken another barbed wire. I think each of these bundles of the barbed wire is 12 meters. So this is 12 meters already used, then another 12 meters has been carried. It's going to add it to, yeah, you can see he's adding it to where the other one stopped. So he has a plier with him to tie it around, and then it's going to keep spreading. Yeah, it's not actually an easy job as it seems, but he's going on about his job carefully, and you're going to see the results it's yielding. Yeah, and this area is a big area. You can see the houses. There are a lot of old houses and still there are new houses. This is Alagomeji Yaba. It's a very expensive place, so you need to make your house up to standard so your rent can also be valuable. But if you don't do some kind of little finishings, you can't actually increase your rent, because people will tell you it's an old house. But once you make your house up to standard, once you increase your rent, then nobody will be able to argue with you. So the plan was to increase the rent of this place. So in the course of that, you need to do new things in the house. You need to make the house more alive, and you need to make it up to standard. So after the installation of these barbed wires, we're also doing some other projects. So make sure you subscribe so you can see other projects like fixing of the tiles and also the painting. Now you can see the work is going, it has gone far. This guy is really good at his job. He's swift and fast. He knows what he's doing. So make sure you employ the right people for the job. Don't give someone who is going to stress you this job, because they might not finish it and then they will run away. Actually, I had an experience like this. The first person that was supposed to come and do this barbed wire collected an advance from me, acted like he's going to do the job, then he left. He didn't do the job, and I'm staying far from this place, so that's why it was difficult to monitor him. But I learned my lesson the hard way. That's why you can see I'm here staying with this guy, making sure he finishes his job before I can go anywhere. That's how to do with these workers. If you just leave them to do the work and you go, then your work is gone too. But when you are with them to monitor, you're going to see that they are going to finish their work. So you can see he has done a great job. Now he has finished one side, and this is the finishing of the other side of the front of the house. This is the front of the building, just by the gate. And as I was telling you, you can see the other compound is electrical wire, so we are just fixing binding wire. This is the house. You can see it's actually like an old house, but we just need to repaint it so everything will come back alive. So this is how it looks from outside. You can see the other compound from outside also need to plaster their own too, just like how we have done our own. You can see the difference. It's really nice. That's why you need to make your house up to standard. This is really amazing. The guy is now making use of the ladder to tie. Yeah, that's what I'm explaining. Like this now is tying the binding wire to those Y iron rods. You can see the Y iron bars. You need to tie the binding wire. You need to tie the binding wire. You need to tie the barbed wire with the binding wire to these iron bars. You can see how he's cutting the binding wire and making sure he's tightening the barbed wire. These barbed wires are very sharp, so you need to be careful. I had my hand cut with these barbed wires because I wasn't wearing a glove. So be careful when you're doing this. And so this is a video of how the barbed wire is done. It's finished, and you can see the next compound. Subscribe to see more updates.